Hey, this is Keith Lovas. We own Graze Craze Charcuterie boards and boxes, we being me and my wife, and I'm here with Big Ben Kennedy about to do some snackin' and healthy yakkin' with some charcuterie.
This is Keith Lovis, and normally I spend this time talking about what we're doing, but he did it. He did it in the intro, and that makes my life a lot easier. So I'm gonna just relax here and
If you ever need a sub host, I'm here for you.
there
Yeah.
you go. So Keith is with Graze Craze Mount Pleasant, and they do charcuterie boards. I know this can be seen from the camera. It may not be. Is it seen but not the best? That's okay because we took pictures before we dove into this thing. There you go. And we took pictures. And if you watch on the YouTube, if you look right now, the pictures are on the screen. That is what we are looking at. And that is what we are about to tear into. And I never say no to food. I can't think of a single thing on this board that I wouldn't eat. It is amazing and pretty, and it just looks so good. So explain to me what got you into this.
Yeah, so that's a funny story, and my wife says I love to talk, so hopefully you guys are ready for a roller
Let's
coaster.
do it.
So I was in commercial construction.
That makes sense. Here we go.
Yeah, so I graduated as a structural engineer from Villanova University. Go Cats!
Okay.
I worked very hard for 20 years, and you can kind of tell by the glare that's coming off this part of my head. That was all caused by the first 20, 25 years of my career in commercial construction. I built 60-story high rises, worked on Yankee Stadium.
Awesome.
Did some really crazy things in the middle of Manhattan, one of the craziest places you could possibly work. And when we came to a transition point in our lives, my oldest son was turning 13. My wife was from Greenville, South Carolina, had moved up to the New York, New Jersey region after college.
Yeah, I heard you say you said something that sounded very
Did the
New
word
Yorkers.
came out?
Yeah.
Was it water or dog?
No, you said, what did you say? I almost had you. Oh man, I'll figure it out.
It'll
figure
come
it out
out again.
They
Don't
come out
worry.
again. Yeah.
We try very hard to keep it locked up, but it pops its head out once in a while.
I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah.
The same thing.
All right, yeah. Your baseball team is unfortunately not the Yankees, but it's okay.
I know.
Yeah.
And when you said Yankee Stadium, I said nice because I can appreciate a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
We went to Fenway Park, gorgeous.
Right.
But the team that resides there, ooh, boo, hiss.
So I'll tell you, taking a drastic turn right off the bat. New Yankee Stadium is not Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
It's a shame, and the amount of hours that I spent there personally, it's sad that I don't like it. But old Yankee Stadium was a classic ballpark, and new Yankee Stadium is just corporate money, but that's neither here nor there.
And now one thing you can't disagree with is Memorial Stadium. God love it.
Beautiful.
It served us, but Oriole Park at Camden Yards
Even better.
is a baseball lovers stadium.
Our favorite weekend every year was going down to watch the Yankees and play the
Of course,
Orioles.
because it's another home game.
And it's so
you guys populate that place so hard. It's like
because you built the perfect baseball the perfect baseball experience. It was like being at a minor league park watching a major league team.
It's wonderful with the breezeway and the eateries and the warehouse. It really, I mean, everybody on the list of like parks to see, like your Fenway, like your Wrigley Field and all that stuff, it made it. I mean, within like the year, like it was around for a year, and it made it to the top 10 list of ballparks or stadiums to visit.
And if you think about how many ballparks were built to look exactly like that ballpark
After that, yeah,
the Yankees could never build that ballpark because they're the Yankees,
right?
But man, like it just
goes
on.
Cleveland
and on.
Indians.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny thing. I was an extra in Major League 2.
Nice.
And the reason why they shot it at Camden Yards is because the stadium that was due to be built for the Cleveland Indians looked exactly like it minus the warehouse.
100%.
The whole rooftop and everything was almost a direct mock. And they were like, well, why don't we just shoot at Camden Yards? And by the time the movie comes out, it'll pretty much line up. Isn't that wild?
Hopefully you were not in Back to the Minors.
I was not in Back to the Minors, which was filmed here.
Was it?
Yeah, it was filmed in Charleston at the
Riverdog Stadium?
Rainbows, the little one off of Rutledge Avenue. That
Fun
little,
fact.
it was filmed there. So we have this connection. My wife is from Charleston. I'm from Baltimore, and we have this major league connection.
There you go.
You know, I don't know what it means.
Well, you're still here, so I guess it means something.
Yeah, maybe it means something. You know, she wins. That's why they say, well, what brought you to Charleston?
Right.
I'm like, my wife's from Charleston, and she won. So, so you were
back
saying,
on topic.
Back on topic. And, and if you're the same as me, this is gonna be fun.
This might be a 6-hour episode. So
hey, why
buckle
not?
up.
Why not?
I was in commercial construction. Worked very hard for many years. And got an opportunity to move back down to South Carolina to build the Sweetgrass Inn on Isle of Palms.
Okay.
Which anybody who's familiar with the area, which hopefully most people are, it's a rather large hotel, especially for this area, especially for Isle of Palms. So they needed somebody with a little bigger building experience. I was lucky enough to be recommended by a couple owners that had worked with me in the past. So me and my 13-year-old and my 10-year-old and my 6-year-old picked up. I think I had to lock the 13-year-old up in the trunk to make him go. But we all kind of picked up and said, listen, life's about adventures.
Yeah.
Let's take an adventure. We did, assuming we would be here at least 2 years. And that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
So luckily, it took some time, especially for the 13-year-old, you know, as 13-year-olds do, to find their place. But, you know, knock on wood, they've all found their place. I hope they're all happy. Otherwise, they're very good at acting. And we're Mount Pleasant, like longevity wise, we're probably in the top 80% after being here 7 years of Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, sure.
Because Mount Pleasant doesn't have a lot of longevity.
No. And Charleston in general, unless you're well to do, it flips a lot. It does. It's very come and go.
Yeah. So we picked up and moved down here right before COVID. So the entire Sweetgrass Inn was built during COVID. If you remember, the nobody was allowed on Isle of Palms.
I do. I was paramedic during that time, so I remember all of that.
So it was kind of ironic, in a weird way that like you weren't allowed to go sit on the beach, but 80 to 150 construction workers were allowed to commute on and off of Isle of Palms every single day.
Yeah, but think about it, not having to fight the traffic.
It was crazy. The island was completely dead.
Yeah.
But I remember when Sullivan's Island actually wouldn't let you put a chair on the beach, like because some reason like putting a chair down would cause chaos.
Right.
And it was just like we had all these migrant workers in and out and trucks and everything else, but like sitting on the beach was an absolute crazy thing.
They weren't allowed to do that. They're like, I'm gonna go rest down by the water. Don't you dare.
Yeah, don't stop walking. Just keep walking. But it was crazy.
But head inland about 200 feet.
Right.
You're good there. Don't you come down here.
What a crazy time. So yeah, we moved down right before that. And I built that building, and then worked on a couple other larger projects. And right around my 45th birthday, I don't know how old you are.
47.
47. So I'm 47 too.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go, man.
It's not so bad.
Class of 96?
97.
Oh, I was 96.
Okay.
So I was born in April.
You must have been very advanced.
I was born in April. Yeah. No. I was just born late. I think I would have started early based on my birthday. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So
I was born in May, and I was one of the older ones. So
exactly. So they started me 1 year, I guess, before you, right? And that's it.
So I bet this conversation ties into kind of how you started this whole thing, because I hit 45, and you kind of take like a little reflection moment at 45.
Sure.
And I was in the construction industry for a long time. I like to think I was very good at it. I got a lot of great opportunities because of it. I'm able to take care of my family, all the things you need to do.
Yep.
And we reached kind of a reflection point where we're like, do we want to do this for the next 25, 30 years, or do we want to do something different? I decided I wanted to do something different. My wife didn't decide that she wanted to do something different.
Now, what was she doing at the time?
So she raised our kids for a very long time.
Okay.
And then when she went back to work, she went to go work for our local elementary school.
Okay.
She worked at the front desk, Carolina Park Elementary. Go Coyotes.
Nice.
And she loved it because my son was there.
That's
it was in our neighborhood. We live in Carolina Park. It was a very tight knit community. She got to know everybody. She loved talking to everybody. It was a great thing for her to get back into the workforce. So ironically enough, when we started the business, it was only me. I took it on myself. I said, listen, this is something I want to do. I'm not going to force you to do something that you don't want to do right away.
Forgive me, and it's going to sound incredibly sexist, but most charcuterie, most things of that nature tend to be female-led businesses. So for you to be the one to drag her along is not what I would have expected.
You're
and like
totally
I said,
right.
It sounds incredibly sexist, but I really think I've realized that most charcuterie, most coffee shop, most things that are like that
Yeah.
tend to be female led.
So you're not wrong at all. And to be honest, when I have conversations with people about the business, or when I drop off boards to like a wedding, or we're setting up for a larger event, 9 times out of 10 they said, "Oh, make sure that you give this to the women at the shop that took care of this." And I
Good.
said,
I'm not the sexist one now.
No,
Awesome.
and again, there's nothing wrong with the statement, because by default people would think that that's
Sure.
true.
Yeah.
It's it's a delicate process
And that's
doing
true.
charcuterie.
Right.
And charcuterie by default, I guess, is a delicate meal to eat.
And they definitely attention to detail,
Right,
all the things
all the
that they would
things,
assign to women,
and I'll tell
and
you,
rightfully
yeah.
so. I mean, that's
So
but
when we decided
Mr. Construction
right.
Man, heavy-handed, that's
Yeah.
pretty neat that you don't have that for this.
So construction is an extremely detail-oriented event, especially running large projects. It's all about
yes.
putting people in the best places to succeed, and putting things in the best places to make it easy to move forward. So I would be lying if I said when I decided I was leaving the construction industry that I was going to go build charcuterie. It was not the number one thing.
Right.
It wasn't like I'm going to, it wasn't something that we were doing on the side. It wasn't something that we were like
Right, you didn't turn a
semi-professional.
hobby into
It wasn't a hobby.
Right.
It was really a business opportunity, because, as you know, as anybody who starts a business, it starts with like what doesn't exist, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't usually look around and say
Fill
like,
the
oh,
hole.
that shop is doing well, I'm going to put one next to it that does the same thing.
Right.
Although some people do, which is odd.
Coffee shops are like that right
right.
now. Yeah.
But like we were looking around and we're like, what's something that's missing that people would pay money for somebody else to do for them, right? Because listen, I'm not going to sit here and say like, no, everybody can go and buy these ingredients and take the time and put them on the board. It's not rocket science, right? It's not
Right.
brain surgery.
Right.
But it's not something that a lot of people have the vision for, and it's certainly not something people want to take the time to do.
Right.
We've been open for 2 years, and we've probably built over 600 charcuterie boards.
Wow.
This board still takes us an hour. No,
I appreciate your time.
So like no matter how good you are at it, it's a painstaking process of taking many ingredients and putting them in the proper place, in the proper shape, in the proper feel, so that not only when somebody picks it up from us and displays it for their guests or brings it home for dinner, it's not like that wow moment. I hope that every person that opens one of our boards can see the effort and the time that went into it, because, as me and my wife sit in the shop and build these day after day after day, we love the process of building them, especially since nobody could ever pick up 2 boards and they'll look the same, mainly for our sanity, but also because it's fun to try different things from time to time and put things in different places. So every time you pick up a board, it's kind of a unique thing, and it's a time consuming process with very high end ingredients, which leads to hopefully a product that most people pick up and are wowed by.
Perfect. I wanted to take the above shot to put on the screen right now because there isn't an available centimeter of space.
There's not.
This is 100%. I mean, not to say that the picture we took earlier, my wife took, it might have come out at a bit of an angle, but I wanted to make sure, because I'm kind of looking over top of it. Us tall men can see on top. It's like I can't even see the board. Like it is full of absolute just wow.
And it's funny. I'll tell you,
I keep saying wow because I've just never seen anything like this.
So I'll tell you, I'm sure we'll get into, the struggles of 2 years of owning a business and like what happens and the ups and downs. One of the things over the first year when we kind of were discovering ourselves and feeling ourselves out, and we all know in this world, like you can't please everyone.
Absolutely not.
It's impossible. So you try to find a happy place where you can please the people that want a little bit of spice, but you want to make sure that you're taking care of the people that are completely turned off by spice.
Sure.
And, that's just one of the many things we've kind of ebbed and flowed with throughout the years. But one thing that we wanted to make sure that we were able to do while still giving people great value and a great quantity of food is, most of our boards get picked up by people not 20 minutes before they're serving it, but sometime during the day, right? So we wanted to make sure that all of our boards fit in the fridge, which is an important thing, because if we were building a board that we were just going to, construction engineering mind,
sure.
So if we were just building a board for an event, we would obviously spread everything out so that we had plenty of rooms, and we would take up as much of the table as we can because it looks impressive the bigger you make
Oh
it.
yeah.
But if somebody comes to our shop and picks up a board that's 4 feet by 2 feet, they're going to look at it and say, like, what do I do with it until the party?
Right.
So even our largest board, and this is our smallest board, even our largest board fits in a French door refrigerator sliding onto a shelf. Perfect. Easy
Gotcha,
peasy.
yeah.
But with that comes, a lot of really technical things that get enough food on there that luckily the feedback that we get from most people, because a lot of people call and they're like, is it really going to feed 20 people? Is it really going to feed 15 people? This one's our 10-person board. And the feedback we get from everybody after we follow up with everybody is there was food left over and we were shocked.
Right, yeah. I mean, as I look at it, and I know the people who order these from you are probably having the same thought. You really do not know where to start.
It's true.
Every time I look at something, I'm like, "Ooh, I would start with that," or "I would start with that." I might start with that. Actually, I'd love to start with that. It is almost like an overwhelming of riches. Yeah. It's really just a tiny bit for maybe my ADHD brain or something.
Right.
But for somebody who likes every single thing that is on this, and even the things that I don't immediately maybe recognize, like I'm guessing these are hummuses.
Yeah, so we make all of our dips in-house.
Now, what is this?
So that's a roasted beet hummus.
Got you.
So, again, we're very, very proud of our dips, and they're a small part of what makes our charcuterie boards, but the time that it takes to do them is just immense because they're all super small batch. And the reason we do that is we like to say that every single thing you pick off of our board is fresh. We wanted that to be so important. There's companies out there on the internet that you can get charcuterie boards and they come wrapped in plastic and heat wrapped, and then you get it and you open it up and it's all just not from that day. So we wanted an opportunity for people to say, I need a board on Tuesday afternoon, and to know that like everything was bought and cut and the carrots were peeled and the asparagus was bought fresh.
I would imagine that cuts down on food waste too. Like you don't want a lot of food waste because
it also leads to a lot of 3:00 runs to Aldi or being like, oh, we just got another board and we didn't, because we don't overbuy specifically for that reason,
right?
Because we don't want to give anybody yesterday's grapes, even though we could, right? And a lot of business people come to us and say like, that's crazy. But it's what we wanted to do as a business. We want everything on the board to be from that day. So going back to our dips, so the pretty one that you have over by you, that's our roasted beet hummus. That's our roasted red pepper hummus.
Yeah.
So like roasted beet hummus, like we roast those beets in the shop, and then those get cooled immediately and turned into hummus. And when you try that, the earthiness of it will tell you that that's true. If you were ever in the food and beverage industry, you would know that there's shortcuts.
Oh, sure.
Almost everything. Like you can go to
we worked in food and beverage.
So you can go to like the most expensive 5-star restaurant in the world, and there's a shortcut in there somewhere that they're taking that they don't have to, but just because, you need to function, right? So you take it.
Yeah.
We really try very hard to stay away from those shortcuts. So again, small batch dips, which leads to like no preservatives. We don't have to worry about shelf life. We don't have to worry about it lasting a long time in the fridge. All we have to worry about is not driving each other crazy, waking up in the morning and making them, right? But again, something that's super important to us, and we've continued to do, while we've been open. Same thing, like silly things like, could we cut 100 carrots on Monday morning and it would last us the week? Of course we could. Do we do that? No.
Yeah.
Like carrots are peeled and chopped on as needed because it just leads to a better product.
I'm looking at them. Yeah. I mean, I've had baby carrots many different times, and many different times wanting to go ahead and eat healthy.
Yeah.
They don't waste any time in getting wet or slimy. They don't waste any time of getting dry and white. So yeah, carrots, I mean, definitely you as long as you understand what everything eventually looks like and turns into what color,
right?
Then yeah, you're going to beat the clock. You're going to definitely want to be ahead of that.
Yeah. I mean, and just going back over the last, 2 years and change, the amount of times that like we had early morning people picking up boards, like they said we needed a board for a meeting at 9:00 or even 6:30 in the morning. And are there times that we look at each other and be like, we could build this today and give it to them tomorrow, and they probably wouldn't notice.
Right.
we've resisted simply because, when you open a business, you have to have some sort of moral compass, right?
Sure.
Unless you're like, one of the big chains or something like that, where
Right.
you're just doing it to do it. But
Right.
our moral compass has made us wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make the board instead of making it at 4 o'clock the night before and
You also
being
have
like,
to keep in mind,
Yeah.
one bad review
oh
goes to 1,000 people.
yeah,
One good review is told to 3 friends.
that's right.
So you definitely want to be better than that, because anybody gets one and they're like, you know what? It was a good board, but
Yeah,
I mean, just the most, and they were like, there was a couple of things, and that's what they're going to talk about, these couple of things. But if you're making sure you pay attention to the detail of every single individual thing, then that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody's going to have the right to run off and complain.
So I'll tell you a funny story, and I'm sure nobody's ignorant enough to think that like reviews don't run the world of small business.
Right.
And it's just the stories that we've gotten from people over the last year, and don't get me wrong, we have over 150 5-star reviews on Google, and we have one bad one. So like, we are blessed. We are so grateful to our customers and our friends that have tried our product and liked it enough to tell other people how great it is. It's been the part that's carried us over the last 2 years more than anything else. But the phone calls that we get from people would blow your mind. It's just crazy town.
That's good.
Like, for instance, like on Christmas Day, and I mean Christmas Eve, we weren't open Christmas Day, even though I tried to make my wife open and she said no. That was where she put her foot down after literally dragging her Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas Eve, just building and building and building. Because as you can imagine, that's one of our busier days.
Sure. And I wanted to get you in here.
Yeah.
This episode is the beginning of February, because
Right.
I was like, hey guys,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
If you want to make your wife happy and you don't want to spend $60, and listen, I know a lot of great flower shops, great businesses. They'll have plenty of business that day. Don't worry, you're not going to hurt them too bad.
Right.
But if you really want to make them happy, A, they don't have to worry about what to eat, and B, they will love it. So we have lots of options for Valentine's Day. It'll be great. We could even add some sweet touches to it. It'll.
Well, I see some chocolate hidden in here. I see some honey.
Yeah,
there are some sweet touches even to this board.
Right. So if I were to tell my fellow husbands out there, you want a no-brainer, we'll take care of you this Valentine's Day.
There you go.
And to be honest, we'll pretend you can build it yourself and you can take credit for it.
See, look at that. Look at that. No problem. You don't have this embroidered or you like heat stamped. So.
All you gotta do is take the little Graze Craze thing out and you can
there you
make it
go.
your own. Yeah.
Do you see what I did for you, honey?
I know, look.
Do you see
I spent
this?
all day building this.
All day.
But going back to bad reviews, right? So it's funny, when we talk about charcuterie struggles, right? Like, it's not world changing things, but one of the biggest charcuterie struggles that we've had since we've opened is how much of the board do we take up with bread and crackers? So as you can imagine, it's a struggle, right? Because crackers are looked at as like filler, right?
Yes.
Like, if you're spending money on something and you get something with a whole lot of crackers on it, you're like, ugh.
Bread
There's
in
just
general.
a lot of crackers and bread on this, right? But you also need enough of it to make the experience, right? If you're doing a cracker and a piece of prosciutto and a piece of cheddar cheese with some honey on it or some jam and kind of making kind of your perfect little bite, you want to have the crackers available to do that.
Right.
So we've gotten so many phone calls throughout the 2 years of like, there was too many crackers on my board. There was not enough crackers on my board. How can you sell me a board with this many crackers? I wanted this many. There's no win. There's no win in that situation. So we start telling people, we're like, listen, we'll take care of the board. There'll be enough on there to serve as we feel is best served, based on our experience. Please go to the store and buy a ream of crackers and put them in your pantry, and you can take them out and you can serve them with the board if you run out. But we need to keep the room on our board for the products that we're most happy about, right? Which is your meats and your cheeses and your vegetables and your dips and your jams. So that's kind of the advice that we give most people. Once in a while, people do come back to us. So on Christmas Eve, we started building at 3:00 in the morning.
Wow.
So we had finished the night before at about 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And we went home, got a little bit of sleep, did all the Christmas stuff that you need to do as parents on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And then got a couple hours of sleep, went back to the shop. We were back at it. So around 4:00 that afternoon, we were closing at 4. We had pumped out a whole lot of boards. We had worked ourselves to the bone, And around 3:45, the phone rings. And I pick it up and I'm like, "Hey, Grace Craze." And she's like, "I just want you to know how disappointed I am." And I said, "Oh boy." And again, this is part of business, right?
Right.
People are never going to be overly satisfied.
Can't please
Um,
everybody all the time.
so I said to her, I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry to hear that. What happened?" And she's like, "Well, we picked up a board from you, and I want you to know that everything on the board was delicious." I was like, "Oh, okay, right?" Like this, I'm like, this is strange so far. And she said, "But I feel completely misled." I'm like, "Okay." And that's another thing that's really misleading about charcuterie boards is like when people ask us, like, if you were to look at this board, right, and you asked how many people does it serve, right? So if you were bringing this to a poker night with like 10 guys, you would say like, "Oh, that's probably not enough to feed everybody."
Right.
If you were bringing it to a book club with like, 6 or 7 older women,
Yeah.
it's probably too much, right?
Right.
So it's a very hard question for us to answer. So we tell people, it feeds about 10 people in a cocktail party type environment. And that's kind of where we leave it. So so at the end of this very long conversation with this woman, on Christmas Eve, around 4 o'clock when we're trying to close, it turns out that she ran out of crackers. So she said, "We had so much food left on the board, but you gave us so few crackers that we couldn't eat it."
Does everything need to be
Well,
on an edible plate?
again, these are not questions that you can
Right,
ask as a
right,
business
right.
owner
You can't.
because
Right.
there's no answer to that question.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, as we were barely surviving the day, and we had gotten our last board out the door, and we were cleaning up, I said to her, I'm like, I'm so sorry that you're disappointed. We really aim to make sure that every board that leaves our shop meets everybody's expectations. What can we do to make it right?" And her answer was, "You can refund my money."
Whoa.
And I said, "Okay, but just to be clear, you enjoyed the board?" And she's like, "Well, we did until we ran out of crackers." And I said, "Okay, so based on you enjoying the board and you running out of crackers, you would like to refund the entire price of the board?" And she said, in not so many words, "Yes."
Wow.
So, those things happen. Luck, and again, we feel so blessed that over the 2 years, that's maybe happened 3 or 4 times.
Oh, got you.
And at the end of the day, we all know what the answer to this is, right? It's just people looking for something
Oh, yeah.
for free,
Yep.
right? It's not rocket science.
Right.
They were never planning on paying for that board. Whether they did it the easy route where we just said, "Of course we'll refund it for you. If you're not satisfied, we're not satisfied," or they go the hard route and they go to the credit card companies and they make it a mess and everything else.
Right.
So it's I guess in the grand scheme of things, where I'm trying to get around to, especially for people that are listening to this, like you said earlier, a good review is hardly ever told.
Right.
The story is never told about, "Hey, I went to this coffee shop and the person that helped me was so kind and had such a nice smile and it made my day better." Right?
Yeah.
Like that happens. There's people out there that do that every single day, but nobody ever hears about it.
Yep.
But I guarantee that coffee shop is called the second a cookie is stale, or they find something on a muffin, or the
Right.
coffee was too hot, or
Yes.
so what I would say to you as we enter the new year, and what I would say to everybody that's listening, is take a minute from time to time and tell people these stories. And in the current environment we live in with your phone, which you're probably on right now,
Yes.
it's so easy to do so. And at the end of a very hard day, when you own a small business and you get that little ding and you look at your phone and somebody leaves you a nice review or some kind words, man, I couldn't even begin to tell you how great that makes you feel.
Yes.
And it's free. Which, is there anything left that's free?
No.
No, it's
I mean,
it's
right now
100
this show.
it's 100% free to do, and you can literally make somebody smile this minute by just going to your favorite business, go to the place you go to all the time, go to the place you get food from or a restaurant, and just tell them how great it is and why you think it's great.
Now, if you follow my social media, you saw my letter I wrote to you, to my family, to everybody on New Year's Day. But what I said was simply, may this year bring you so much love and so much, great things that you feel forced to give it to
Yeah.
others. May it be so abundant that I have to share this with others. And that's the thing. appreciation. If you are appreciative of anything this year, pay it forward, pass it on. I mean, I do that everywhere we go. When I was at karaoke one night, and there was this girl who was dancing when I was singing, and she just looked like she was having a good time. And I said, I felt great. I reconnected with some friends who were here from home, and I just said, I have to pass this off before I leave. And I grabbed her and I said, you are so incredibly funny and captivating. I said, and you were dancing. I said, and she said, you know what? This is like, I went through a bad divorce, and this is like my getting back out there night, and you just made my night. And I said, well, I hope it continues to go so great for you. And I walked out, and my wife will tell you, I can't hold on to this. Like, I'm leaving the party. I have to pass this off before I leave, because I'm not losing anything.
No.
I had a great time, and I'm going to tell everybody about my great time. But it's like, pay a compliment, make somebody feel good before you leave. I always, after my comedy shows, I stay and I shake a hand, or I give a hug, or I tell somebody, you have a wonderful laugh. I said, it was almost a little bit distracting, I said, but I love your laugh. I could just sit here and just have a conversation with you forever. And they just feel, I mean, and it's God's honest truth. I'm not schmoozing, but they feel like the sun is shining only on them. And that's the whole point, is like, give somebody a little bit of spotlight, a little bit of ray of sunshine. I mean, why not? It costs nothing.
It costs nothing. And even,
cost. There it is. Words like that. You're all.
Watch it. So, it's even like go to like people are so hung up on tipping culture, right? Like tipping culture has gotten, if you ever click on Facebook, and hopefully you don't too much and you live your life, but if you ever click on Facebook, you'll see a post on there about somebody complaining about tipping in general, right? Like, I can't believe I have to tip for this. I can't believe I have to tip for that. Tipping culture is great. And don't get me wrong, people need those tips to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But think about the last time you went to a restaurant and had really good service, and the person dropped off the bill, and you gave them a nice healthy tip, and you're like, wow, I really made that person feel good.
Yep.
I can tell you that although that tip is great, if you grabbed him on your way out and shook his hand or her hand and said, thank you so much, you were so great tonight, it really made our night, it made such a special experience for us, and just shook their hand and said thank you, that feeling that person would have inside would mean so much more to them than the tip that just gets calculated at the end of the night. And it's like, here, you made this much money, but it doesn't mean the same thing as somebody just saying thank you.
Yeah.
It's such a piece of this current world that we live in that's just missing.
Yeah, I'll leave the notes. I like to write the extras sometimes.
That's wonderful too, right?
Yeah,
just tell them why they're special, instead of just like, you're special $30 worth, right? Like, it's like, you're special because, like, you came over a third time and you smiled and you made a joke and it made our night, right?
Do you remember last Valentine's Day? We tried to go to Texas Roadhouse, and they were packed for like hour wait. So we went over to Smoky Bones, and that guy, he made a strawberry lemonade out of like the bar. Didn't even exist on the menu. He made that for Bridget, and then he was really good. And I left him a big tip, and I said, thank you for being so good to my ladies. And he scooped that off the table, and he yelled across the restaurant, big man, thank you so much. I said, thank you for being good to my ladies. And he was like, love you, man. I was like, love you too, brother. And that was it. It was like, I meant it. He was great to my girls. I mean, it was Valentine's Day. I'm having a double date with my two favorite women. I mean, well, my girls, my daughters was 8 at the time, right, but my two favorite girls. And I guess he either knew it or he's just genuinely that kind of person. But either way, made me just feel like so happy that I brought them to a place where they were having this kind of time.
And you know what it was? You had a human interaction.
That's what this show is. Like, I just want human interaction.
And I hate to say it, but like, I bet there's people that can wake up in the morning and go to bed and think back and be like, did I have any human interactions today? And I'm not talking about like saying hi to somebody as you walk by. Right. Like, did you have a human interaction with another human?
Make a small connection, right? For any time.
And it rarely happens these days, especially with the younger people. So it's something that's so important to us. So, circling back to, the original question of why we started this, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that we were doing something that made people smile. So when people walk into our shop and pick up one of our boards and they're walking out the door, they're smiling because they know it was something special built for them. They enjoy how beautiful it is, and it's something they don't have to worry about, right? So we've made that person a little bit happier that day just by picking up one of our products. The other thing that's really special to us about charcuterie in general, and And whenever we have brides or mothers of brides in our shop and talking about different catering options, they're like, we were talking about doing this. We were going to do buffet. We were going to do sit down dinner. And we always kind of tell them the same thing. And it resonates a lot with people. Charcuterie is meant to be shared. Not only to be shared, but be shared in a unique way. So as you can see, we were talking about it before, the amount of things on the board, every single person can have their own special bite, right? And we talk about this all the time. We're like,
and the bite is something I wouldn't.
You wouldn't think about putting things together.
Well, I mean, I
cuff,
would
right?
do it, but I wouldn't think about calling it a bite, even though every cooking show, every, baking show, they talk about that was a great bite of food. That is a big part of the judging. And I've just never used that term personally, but for you to use that term, and now I'm sitting here thinking of it in those terms, and it's so
you can get lost in one of our boards in so many different ways. So this is a cranberry orange jam that we make in the house.
I know, it looks great.
This is a cottage cheese dill dip that we make in the house. So all of these
that
things,
hiding on the other side there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of these things can easily be experimented with, and you can create some really magnificent things. Like if you've never had a savory piece of meat with a spicy cheese with honey drizzled over it, that combination is
Did you get to the end of the Forge Charleston episode that you said you were listening to? When we talked about salty and sweet, and I can get into an Oreo loop or a Reese's peanut butter cup loop that will be dangerously repeating. But I would be the salt. I mean, like right now, definitely that jam on anything salty would just be like immediate thought.
And hearing, because every one of our boards that leaves our shop, we always follow up with a text message to the people that bought it asking, A, did you enjoy it? B, is there something that we could have done better? We just want to hear back from people. And a lot of times people love to talk about it. So, we'll talk, and I'll always ask the question, I'd be like, what was your favorite bite on the board? And we get some crazy things that when you try it, it's like, wow. So, we started putting more cucumber on the board because the feedback we were getting from people is people like using the cucumber instead of the crackers.
Right.
So instead of the, because people are like carb and gluten, even though everything on here is gluten free because we know that that's important to people nowadays. So to stay with, so they'll take a cucumber and use that as their base, and then they'll put some meat and some cheese and some honey or some hummus, and that'll be their bite. And it's something that not everybody would think about. But going back to kind of the initial conversation, when you pick up a board from us and say you're having 3 couples over, to be able to sit around a coffee table and chat and communicate with each other while experimenting and trying different things and talking to each other, because food is a lot of people's love language.
That was the point of the show too. The snacking aspect was for us to share.
Snacking is a
snack and talk. And when I wrote you about this, I was like, your board lends itself to my show almost too perfectly.
Because snacking is the perfect way to eat. We call ourselves Graze Craze because we want people to graze on our boards, right? It's not meant to be eaten in a 15-minute period. We're not a sit-down restaurant where we're trying to get you out. Right. We want you to bring the board home. We want you to sit around with friends and family and relax and just graze, right? You don't. There's no time limit. Nothing on here is going to go sour or go bad on you. So you can just kind of sit, enjoy it, and try different things. And then, as you'll find that when you're doing that with other people, people are like, "Oh my gosh, have you tried this and this and this?" And then all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, now all of a sudden you're opening a line of communication with another human. You're having another human interaction that you don't always have, even when you go over people's houses." So
I realized we forgot the drinks.
Oh, that's right. Well, I was about to say I was getting thirsty because I've been obviously talking too much.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We have I brought some 0-calorie sparkling water that we had at the house.
Let's do it.
What do you like?
Orange mango.
Orange mango? I'll take the black raspberry.
Well, you don't have much of a choice now, do you?
No. I brought 3 of each. So if you want a second one,
is fine.
you let me know.
Hopefully it doesn't go all over me. No, this is perfect. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers to you, sir.
you can come over and sit in front and snack on it if you want.
Yeah, we'll get she'll take and go at it pretty hard when we get done filming. Or recording, as it were.
So kind of going back to like the human interaction aspect of it, which again is something that's so important to us as parents and everything else, is it gives people an opportunity to communicate with each other, to share thoughts over food, to enjoy something that's both beautiful and tasty, and to really open up, especially, we convinced a couple months ago that wanted to have the big sit down dinner at their wedding. They were going to do past hors d'oeuvres and the buffet line and the sit down dinner and all the stuff you typically see at weddings. And we said, just play the scenario out, right? If you're at somebody else's wedding and you're having a good time, you're at cocktail hour, you're snacking, you're meeting people you haven't met before, or you're catching up with people you haven't seen in a long time, then all of a sudden, like, the bell rings and you have to stop, right? Like, everything
Right.
comes to a grinding halt, and then you got to go sit at a table, and you have to sit next to people hopefully you enjoy talking to, because
Right.
odds are you probably aren't going to. And then you sit there, and then you're eating and you're kind of getting tired of eating because there's so much food. And then all of a sudden that's done, and then you got to break that, and you got to go back to wherever you're going and have dessert. It's just a lot of stops and starts throughout the cocktail hour.
Yep.
And when you talk to most people enjoy most is the cocktail hour portion of it.
Yeah, the mix and mingle.
The mingle part of it, right?
Mhm.
Like, you're not tied to anybody. You can leave and talk to somebody else,
Right.
but there's still food available for you to kind of snack on while you're doing it. So we told them, I said, forget about the way things are usually done. Let us put together a big grazing table for you. It'll last for 5 hours. You don't have to worry about it. And just let your guests enjoy the party, right? And then you can have a dance floor and people could dance and they could come off and they could snack and then they go back and dance. And it doesn't have to be this stop-start traditional thing, because people don't usually enjoy those middle parts of the wedding anyway.
Right.
So we convinced
We
them
all
of
got to
it.
do the hokey pokey. Hold on.
That's right. And the mother of the bride was probably the one that we had to convince the most, because traditionalists and
Sure,
they always saw
sure.
it going this certain way. But the bride and groom were completely on board with it because this is how they love to eat. So we did it, and the feedback we got was just fantastic, to the point where we've gotten calls from from wedding planners saying, like, we
That's
want to
good.
teach us how to sell this, because it's easier for everybody to do it that way. And think about when you're hosting a party, how many things you have to worry about with your guests, right? Are they gluten free? Do they have a nut allergy?
Mhm.
Are they vegan? Are they dairy free? Are they vegetarians? Like, all these things have to go into it, right? So all of a sudden you have 15 different meals, making sure that everybody has something to eat. Another great thing about our boards is, if anybody walks up to this board with any of those scenarios, they can find something on there that they can snack on that doesn't have to cause an inconvenience for their host, to say, like,
Right.
hey, can you make sure that I have my own thing that's gluten free, or my own thing that's vegetarian?
Right. And also, if they were vegetarian, I mean, you kept
You-
the meats
right.
relatively.
They're not touching everything.
Right.
We do have those people that don't like the sight of meat, and that's perfectly fine. We
Sure,
can do
sure.
vegetarian boards for them all day long. It's wonderful. But if you were at somebody's house and you were snacking on something, you wouldn't turn your nose up and say, like, there's nothing on there for me,
Oh,
because
right.
there's something on
If
there
you
for
did,
every single
you're being
person.
an ass.
Right.
Period. You're just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I can't see anything. Okay.
Yeah. So it's an easy button. It's an easy button for entertaining, because you don't have to worry about the things you usually have to worry about, because people will take care of themselves based on what's on the board.
So cool. What's the cheese you have hidden in here?
So that's brie.
Brie.
So kind of taking a tour of the board a little bit, right?
Let's do it.
So you have a lot of fruit and vegetables on there, kind of
Mhm.
scattered around. A for color, and B for those people that aren't necessarily overly hungry, right? Like, if you're not looking to have a meat or a cheese, you have plenty of things in there to kind of dip in our hummuses and our cottage cheese dill dip. And then we have 5 different types of meat kind of scattered about the board. They're all cured meats for many reasons, right? We need to do cured meats to make sure that everything stays fresh. We want to make sure that nothing goes bad. We have like a chorizo that has a little bit more of a kick to it. There's a white wine salami on there. Some pepperoni, which is just the best. It took us so long to find the right pepperoni.
Yeah.
From somebody from the Northeast, like, you get it, right? Like, there's different
Italy.
types of pepperoni.
I mean, Italian. I mean, you
yeah,
have
I
to.
mean, some pepperoni is just like I don't want to mention other companies, but like, there's a company called like Hormel, right? Like
Yeah,
it's like,
of course.
That's not
No,
it,
no.
right?
Commercial, and
Yeah.
and if that pepperoni can stay good in your fridge for 3.5 months, I don't know that's the best.
It's funny. We have so many conversations with people about shelved items in the grocery store, right?
Mhm.
Like, if you have a product that's on a shelf in a grocery store, you think about the amount of time it takes to get from wherever that product came from to the grocery store and how long it sits there for. By default there's something wrong, right?
Yeah, the
Like,
preservative. There's
right,
something
there's
done to it.
There's something that allows that to happen,
Right.
because it doesn't just happen by itself.
No, it can't.
Even like, you go to certain places and they say, like, oh, the fruit from this place lasts a really long time. It's like, Yeah, but is it supposed to?
Right.
Right? Like that's it's great that it lasts a long time for you and it's convenient, but like that's not what fruit does.
No,
So
no,
like
no,
why
no.
does it, right?
Right.
But sometimes ignorance is bliss a little bit. Um so we it finding the right meats and going through the right avenues to find the right pepperoni and the right sopressata and the right chorizo and the right capicola, the right wine salami that kind of touch all the other products well on the board. And then going back to the cheeses, right? We want to make sure that we're not offending anybody with spice, but this one in the front is one of my favorites. It's a jalapeno cheddar. It's
Okay.
got the right amount of kick to it. And the way we judge it is my wife is not a spicy person. So she always tests our spicy product to give me like a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
I got you.
So it's got kick to it, but not a crazy amount of kick.
Right. You want
Right.
to, if somebody who doesn't like spice
Right.
says it's spicy, but it's not causing me discomfort,
That's
or it's
right.
not, then it's a good level of spice.
The other funniest thing about,
Yeah,
things
your
that-
pepper jack found its way over.
the things that you don't think about, you also want a spicy product to look spicy, right? So if you look at the board and you look at like a Colby Jack, right? Like people know what Colby Jack looks like. It's
Yes.
it's a safe choice for people that aren't adventurous. Same thing with cheddar, Monterey Jack, safe choices, like what you're getting.
Yes.
And then you look at the spicy hero jalapeno cheese, and if you were to look at that as a spice averse person, you're like, that's not for me. I can tell already, right?
Yes.
It's got that little bit of pepper kick to it. So like we've gone through a lot of cheeses in the shop that were delicious. Like we had a sriracha cheddar, which was my favorite thing I've ever
Ooh,
eaten.
sounds good.
It was so good, but it didn't look different enough from the regular cheddar. So we were in a situation where people wouldn't know that it's spicy
And accidentally
when they're picking it up, and that's
Yeah.
something we don't want from a product that we're selling. So we tried very hard to find a cheese that not only has a little bit of a kick to it, but also has that little bit of peppery fleck to it that like
Yeah.
you would know.
People pay people like consulting fees and like focus group. Like people pay people to discover those things,
Right.
and you're doing that. Man,
we
that
discover
mind.
we discover as we go, and
Yeah.
we hit bumps and we hear feedback from people that say like this wasn't right and this wasn't wrong. And we
But you
take that
pivot and you
information
adjust.
yeah, right. We pivot and we adjust, and we get feedback from people that say like the board wasn't spicy enough, and so we started offering a 3-pepper Colby Jack, which has a lot of really strong kick to it, but it's an option, right? Like
Right.
you need to tell us you want it. Blue cheese, you need to tell us you want it because it's the sort of thing that not everybody likes.
Right, and my wife
Yeah.
is actually allergic to the feta and the blue cheese,
Yeah, there
and
you
that
go,
isn't
right.
on here
And
at
we
all from what I can see.
and the other thing I'll tell you is like we have gotten so good about allergies. We do nut-free boards, we do gluten-free boards, we do dairy-free boards. It's become very important just because we know a lot of people that have very strong allergies, and
Right.
we know that it's not as simple as just not putting the nuts on the board. It's a different process, right? It's a different table, it's a different set of utensils.
yes,
It's a
yes,
different,
yes.
the meat slicer needs to be sanitized. So when people have told us many times, they're like, it's so nice to feel comfortable ordering a nut-free board from you, knowing that it's truly nut-free,
Prepared, yeah,
right?
prepared
Because that's
properly.
what a dangerous thing that is to get food from anywhere when you have a severe
And
allergy.
I mean, most people list it. They say prepared in a place that
Right.
also,
Yeah.
a factory that also.
Right.
But you said a shop.
Yeah.
This isn't done out of the house.
Oh no, we have a brick and mortar.
Wow.
So we have a brick and
So you're the brick and mortar at 3:30 in the morning
Yeah.
doing these things. Wow.
So I don't know if everybody in the world is familiar with something in South Carolina called cottage laws.
And my wife, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So again, and this is not meant to discourage or say anybody's doing anything wrong with their own businesses. There's many products that you can sell to people out of your house in South Carolina that
Right.
you would not be able to do most places.
Okay.
Most places you need a commercial kitchen with a health inspection, and the charcuterie industry in South Carolina started with these cottage laws. People were doing this out of their house, so you could call somebody up. And don't get me wrong, I've met so many wonderful people that do this out of their house. They're great. They do beautiful boards. They're wonderful to have around. But it's a different process when you have a fully inspected health code, monthly walkthroughs, commercial kitchen that every single board is prepared in. It's just a different environment. We're held at different standards. So in our brick and mortar, which is up in North Mount Pleasant, right at the entrance to Charleston National, most people know where Crush Yard is.
Yes.
We're in that same shopping center as Crush Yard. They're
So
wonderful
you're actually
neighbors.
kind of across from where you live, kind of across from Charleston Park.
And it's not an accident.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
By the way, you stole Bill Murray from us.
That's right.
Because he used to come to the Costco here.
Yeah.
I would
And now
run
he goes
into
up to
him and
that
talk.
one. Yeah.
Now, since he lives over there off Sullivan's, he goes to that one up there. So
Yeah.
we
When people can't
stole him
find us,
away.
when people can't find us, because most people don't always travel to North Mount Pleasant if they're not from North Mount Pleasant.
Right.
Everybody knows where the Costco is.
Yes.
So it makes it easy.
And I go to the hospital there. I go to Mount Pleasant
That's
Hospital
right.
all the time,
Yeah.
or Roper Mount Pleasant, however you want to call it.
So it's a wonderful, hidden shopping center. Most people don't even know it exists. It's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but for us, it's wonderful because it makes it real easy for people to park, which is a struggle in Mount Pleasant for most shopping centers. Real convenient, low stress, no crazy lights to turn in and out of. You can turn left, you can turn right. Super easy for our customers. So we have a brick and mortar there, commercial kitchen in the back. We sell all of our products out of there. So, kind of walking through how it works. You can go on our website. We have a couple different boards that you can order on there. You can order based on sizes. It'll show you pictures and kind of give you an idea of what you're looking for, what's on the boards.
Now, is it grazecraze.com or is it grazecraze CHS?
Grazecraze.com.
Grazecraze.com.
And you can find us on all the normal social medias if you really want to see some of the work that we do. And you
but
go
you
on
have
there.
to see it in person. I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm sales pitching, but I'm not. You have to see it in person. I mean, the pictures I put on here and the pictures you're going to see on social media and on the website, they're good. But I'm telling you, to see it in person is really, really, really nice.
It's very hard. It's very hard to mimic the experience on social media.
Sure.
So if you go on our website, you can browse through our products, you can browse through our sizes, and then it'll walk you through all the steps. It makes it real easy. You can tell us about allergies you have. You can add certain cheeses to the board based on your preferences, whether it's Manchego, anything that's a little more adventurous, we have there available to add as options. Again, we make every board custom. So if you call us up and say like, hey, we don't like goat cheese, or hey, we don't like carrots, or we're allergic to this, we can take care of you. It's not a problem at all. So you go through the ordering process. It'll ask you what day and what time you want to pick it up from the lobby. It's as simple as parking your car, walking in, it'll be sitting there all ready for you, and you're kind of done. It makes it easy.
Neat.
And we also deliver. So if you don't want to come up to North Mount Pleasant, because I know in the Charleston area, people are like, "Oh, you're all the way up," which again is another fascinating coming from Baltimore or coming from New York.
Yeah.
Like, you understand what traffic is.
I do.
And I'm not saying there isn't traffic here.
It's not that traffic.
It's not that traffic.
Right.
I used to
at the Capitol Beltway, 495, which encircles DC, there is an accident on that thing every single hour of the day and night. 24 accidents a day, I'd guarantee it.
Right.
I'd bet money on it. Hard money. But don't
don't actually do it.
Don't actually do it, but I would. Because it's always, I mean, the traffic up there, 695, 495, 95, the Jersey Turnpike, always.
Yeah.
Always.
So the biggest, we get calls from people that live in like the Old Village area, or even downtown Charleston. Are like, we would love to have a board, but like we can't get all the way up there. And like, so I from North Mount, so we're in West Ashley right now, right, recording this.
Yeah.
It took 22 minutes to get here.
Yeah, on a Sunday.
Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's not. We're not talking about drastic distances here that people like do. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're one of those poor people that have to commute from Somerville to Charleston and back every day, you have traffic. I see it on the news every morning. Sure. It seems terrible.
You're going to hit Ashley Phosphate on 26, and you're going to be stuck every single time.
Maybe next time on your way home, stop by and pick up a charcuterie board, and you could snack on it while you're sitting in traffic on the way back up. I promise it'll make your commute better.
There you go. And it fits, and it would fit in a front seat.
It'll fit right on the front seat.
The small board will fit on the front seat.
And then when you get home, whoever you're going home to can have whatever's left, if there is anything, and it's the win-win.
If there's anything, because you're going to devour it in the hour that you're sitting in traffic.
But especially talking to people from Old Village, and they just they just will not cross the IOP connector. Like, you just don't go up there for anything, right? It's like two different worlds. So we're happy to deliver. We deliver all over the place. We were actually here yesterday, right at the veterinary hospital, right on that I passed on the way in here.
Yeah.
Dropping off some boards. So we deliver anywhere. Again,
and look around town. Look for the wrapped. That really impressed me. I've not seen. I mean, I drive around in an ambulance, all of them, all the time. I had surprised I had not seen your car yet.
I'm surprised too.
But once I've seen it,
all right, you'll be looking for it.
I'll see it everywhere, because That's the thing. You don't notice how many Jeeps are on the road until you buy a Jeep.
That's right.
Or when you're shopping for one, you're like, I think I want to get a Jeep. And now all the Jeeps in the world have just become apparent to you. So I think now I'm going to see you all the time. And it'll just take me like I won't text you like, hey man, you know, but
no, please do. We love hearing it.
Hey man, just drove past you on such and such. But no, it's a really great wrap job too. And this logo, the thing that you have on the front, it looks like it's just a straight up like Times New Roman G, but the bottom being cut out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like an old school, do you see it? Like an old school G, but with the bottom cut out to make the C.
That's right.
And it's really neat. Like it's pretty ingenious. I'm a fan of that stuff. I mean, the graphics for this, and I do all that. You know, I designed all that.
I mean, I don't know if you realized it, but we're actually huge New York Knicks fans. And you guys have gone with New York Knicks colors.
I'm a fan of blue and orange. Okay. I always have been. And it was the color scheme I chose with the orange. You just don't know it yet. Okay. Yeah. With the orange chairs.
That's right.
And the blue curtain. I was just like, I kind of like, I mean, this is terracotta. It's not orange. No, but it's.
Well, I'll tell you, we're a little bit of kindred spirits, right? So you can see my orange shoes.
Right? They match almost exactly.
You know, my children, you know, being 18 and 15 and 10, they're all at very unique ages. With opinion sharing.
Sure.
They like to do that.
Yes.
So when I first bought my Subaru, which is what's wrapped out in the parking lot, it's bright orange.
Okay, but
underneath the wrap, it's bright orange. So I had that car for many years before Graze Craze. It became the wrapped vehicle because we had it already.
Sure.
But it was a bright orange car. So when I first brought it home, my kids are like, "You got to be kidding!" Right? They're like, you know, because they know I like orange. It worked out well for me because not a lot of people buy orange cars. So in the dealership, I was able to work some things out with them. I loved it. It was my orange car. Everyone around town knew it was my orange car. It was just the bright orange Subaru. So when I brought the car to get wrapped, and I didn't tell the kids I was doing it, and then I brought it home, they're like, "You got to be kidding! How can you possibly make that car worse?"
Oh, man.
You know, because now, especially with two of them driving, 9 times out of 10, because we have a minivan and then that car, 9 times out of 10, my wife has the minivan, so they're driving the Graze Craze car around town. So you can imagine as teenagers, they're like, this is not a cool thing to do.
Right.
Not that I'm complaining because, you know, every eye helps.
And you said the guy you want to plug him?
Sinorama.
Sinorama.
Sinorama in Mount Pleasant, they do wonderful work. You know, they told me this was one of the best ways to spend your advertising money, and they could not be more right. I mean, the amount of times that I go out and make a delivery, and then I'm on my way back to the store, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and they're like, "I'm having people over tonight. I just saw you drive over. I'm so glad that I know about you now."
That's
right.
Really
and
cool.
I mean, and listen, we could have a 3-hour podcast about how hard it is to advertise,
right?
Especially in the current environment that we live in.
Yes.
There's so many things that people just don't even look at, and we get a phone call every day from somebody trying to sell us some sort of advertising somewhere.
Right. And I get it too for this.
And horror stories. Like, we had somebody, our first year of business, which we obviously were broke. We didn't have any money. Somebody called us with this. They're like, "We have a great opportunity for you. We do this little magazine. It goes out to golf course communities in Charleston, in Mount Pleasant, which is our target market. You know, it's a wonderful market for us." We're like, "This sounds great." Not knowing any better. You know, we're like, "All right, let's do it." So we spent days coming up with the perfect ad. We designed it ourselves. We made sure it was all on there. We got feedback from people. We were so proud of this ad. And then finally the time comes and they send us one of like little sample magazines, and we open it and we're like, "This is awesome. This is going to be so great for us." Little did we know that world is kind of ridden with scams. So, as the next month went by and the next month by, we started calling people that we knew that lived in these golf course communities, and we're like, "Oh, what'd you think of the magazine that went out?" And they're like, "No."
We
never
don't
saw
read
it.
that. Yeah.
No, we never. They never like it. It never shipped. And this is unfortunate.
Terrible.
This is unfortunately a thing in the world that, you know, preys on small businesses, and they give people opportunities, and they print a couple magazines to send to the people that bought the ad space, but they never actually distribute the magazine anywhere.
I advertised in the city paper,
which you know exists because you've seen it.
Because I've seen it,
right.
And that's been fun. It's at the very least, it gave me some name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the people that I've reached out to saying, "Would you have any interest?" They, even if they haven't seen it, they kind of go, "Yeah, I've heard of you."
Right.
And it's just like, it got to them, it got in them. So I'm like, that's cool. I will probably do another run again after, like in the fall, like after the year and all that stuff. But
it is hard.
I'm not going to back it up with
Yeah.
another one. I had it. It was a good experiment, but right now, great guests like you, understanding the power of social media when I share clips after this episode and you post it to yours or you do a collaboratorship. I mean, that's been the best. Everybody wants to see me again or like check me out further based on, and I think that's going to be
and
the
again,
thing.
like we go back to what we said earlier, right? Like that is free. Like people don't people don't understand like why you're on Facebook. If you hit that little share button and you just say share to feed and you write a little note saying like we've gone here, it's awesome, or like you guys got to listen to this, it's so cool. That was free. It took 3 seconds and it would make your day. Just seeing, like, you're seeing the little thing pop up on your phone saying, like, wow, somebody shared this, and somebody's now all of a sudden, all the people that this person knows are seeing something for the first time.
Yep. The only person who does that for me is my wife.
And it costs nothing, right? Again, it costs absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Well, I'm gonna slam my face into this if we can't pick up something.
Right.
No, I like this. So this is for, say, the meats.
Yeah, so
and
I mean,
all that stuff, but then this will stab the cheeses.
So we provide the utensils, and again, if you're sitting around with family, your fingers are your best utensils. So now that we're family, please feel free to.
Yeah,
go to
I mean,
town.
I hand sanitize, and if you want for your own sake, but I mean,
So I'll tell you my perfect bite, right? And you can.
I'll try it.
So gluten-free cracker.
Gluten-free cracker.
Right? Down here with the little knife in it, we have some goat cheese with pistachios and honey. So it gives you a nice little base. Right?
Excellent. Everybody's going crazy for that pistachio with that Dubai.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but here you can spread some of that on there.
Cool.
And then I'm a big fan of the chorizo. Our sopressata is great. Our pepperoni is great. You just take a little slice like that, right?
Gotcha.
Put it right on top of the goat cheese.
A little slice like that. Oh, trying to get.
Yeah, no,
is that just one? That's one. Okay.
Wow,
so generous slice folded.
Yeah, so now you can kind of make a choice, right? Like you can go the honey route, which is fantastic.
Which you mentioned earlier, so I think.
So take the little honey dippers.
You got it.
My youngest favorite little thing, right? Take a little honey dipper, give it a little twirl on there, get a little sweet and savory. And this is when we have leftovers, and at the end of the day, this is usually my little snack.
I wasn't as lucky as you.
Okay, you're good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got the crunch. You got the goat cheese, the honey and the pistachio give it a little nuttiness, little kick from the meat, right? Fantastic.
That is it keeps throwing another flavor right behind it. Because right now I'm in the meat part of it, but the honey's there on my lips and it's to it. Dang.
Yeah.
See, okay.
And now picture going back to like the dinner party, right? When you're having people over your house, right? So now that's an experience that you shared with somebody else that you're now going to say like, and then the next person around, like we've even had people that say like everyone goes around the table and creates their boat and everybody tries it, right? So when we say this serves 10 people, there's enough on here for 10 people to each try each thing once, right? So there's 10 pieces of this meat, 10 pieces of pepperoni. So as you go around the table and you start creating your bites together, then you can start then you'd be like, you got to try this one. And then all of a sudden somebody else be like, grab the cracker, put a little bit of jam on it first, right? And then put the meat and the cheese on it. Then you get that nice little kick. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think I want to, I kind of want to use the
cucumber.
Because that's an everything bagel seasoning.
Bagel on there, yeah.
Okay. And that jam is calling me.
You can't go wrong with it. It's fantastic.
I'll tell you what, I love a pepper jam.
Yeah.
So I think that.
So now you're gonna have a little spice, a little sweet on top of it. Man, you're rocking and rolling.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to make a mess, but I don't care. I can clean this place. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. Was I like we do like a pepper jelly thing, which kind of has like a cream cheese base.
Yeah.
At some
you
holidays,
got the sweet and the savory, right?
And so I'm kind of seeing that, but then I thought with the everything bagel seasoning, here we go.
That jam, fantastic.
Well, jam is amazing, sir. Oh,
it's time consuming, but man, is it worth it? So I always like the chorizo in the jam, and then maybe like a little bit of sharp cheddar. Just add a little bit of kick.
Just make sure that microphone's towards you. Are you still hearing him though? I mean, he's got a good deep voice like I do, so we're not going to have that problem. You got that northern deep projection.
Yeah.
So I knew it wouldn't be too much of a problem. I just want to make sure that mic is catching you.
And then again, if you're not the meat and cheese person, the vegetables and the cottage cheese dill dip, we stay away from mayonnaise and stuff like that, trying to be healthy. I've seen people, house these hummuses. They're fantastic.
I want to try this beet hummus that you were talking about.
So if you're a carrot person, a little bit of carrot dipped in the hummus, fantastic.
Let's do it.
Or if you're adventurous, the asparagus is wonderful.
Oh, I see you got the olive oil down there. Do you recommend a mixing or?
So we put that on top just to give it that little bit of, in case people aren't serving it right away, just giving that little bit. But yeah, it adds a little bit of nice
Gotcha.
earthiness to it.
It's like what you're talking about, the earthiness.
Yeah, it's the biggest struggle that we have with people is we tell them it's roasted beet hummus and they make a face, because beets are a little bit of a hot button. Like, not everyone wants to eat a beet,
but you can sweeten them.
Do.
You can make beets sweet.
Yeah,
but you can also make them earthy. You can make them kind of a savory.
So, slow roasting. Everything in the world that's good takes time.
I really like this like a lot.
That's my lunch. Probably 6 days a week, just
the beet hummus.
Whatever fruit.
I reached over there for carrots when I had one right here.
Like whatever vegetables are left at the end of the day that we haven't used, and whatever's left of the beet hummus, it's the best way to end the day.
I would.
It's so good.
Oh my god!
And there's, when I tell you, like, there is nothing in there that you wouldn't. There's no preservatives. There's nothing in. There's no sugar. It's the basic stuff to make really good hummus.
Do you know the combinations I would do with this board? My God.
And like, again, I tell people this all the time. Like, the way that we make that hummus, it lasts 2 days. So every 2 days we're remaking all of our dips, whether we sell nothing or we sell a lot.
Yeah, but then you're secretly a little bit voting. You're like, it looks like we're coming down to it. Oh, I got lunch tomorrow.
That's right. I'm not that upset at the end of the 2 days if any of these are left over, because that means we get to eat it.
I know,
which isn't the worst thing in the world.
Which is why you look like you and I look like me, because I'm like, hopefully this little Caesars will last till tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
It won't.
Yeah.
Not in my house.
But yeah, that's kind of the neat. And again, like, we didn't invent charcuterie. Like, it's something that's been around.
Is this a
for a long
stone
time.
brown mustard?
Yeah, that's a stone ground mustard.
Okay.
We certainly aren't people that invented what we're doing. We just try to do it in an easy, convenient way with super high end products and super fresh produce and dips, just so that you know what you're getting, right? Whether it's your first time or your 10th time,
right?
You know that when you pick it up, it's going to be fresh. And there's been many times where we don't have strawberries on the board because, to be frank, there's no strawberries that are worthy of the board available to us.
Right. You just say thing, seasonal or right. Due to the season.
So we like to tell people, we are curating your board for you. Sometimes something you expect to be on there might not be on there, simply because it's not up to the quality that we need it to be to put it on the board.
Trying to think, because I mean, cheeses are one to go for, but that dip right there that you said was a
So I could eat these little tomatoes with this cottage cheese dill dip all day long.
All right, so I got the cottage cheese dill with that. There's one thing I don't know what to go for, because I don't want to do cottage cheese and cheese.
No.
I'll just do a meat.
Yeah, you can do go for it.
I'll try your pepperoni that you were talking about.
Hopefully you agree. It is.
So pepperoni.
I mean, I can say this is not one that we've seen before, but
I don't care.
I'm ready for it.
I'm adventurous.
Yeah. But man, at the end of the day, it's what makes it fun, right? It's like, just going out of your comfort zone and trying different things.
Yeah, that's different. Unfortunately, it muted the pepperoni too much.
Now you just got to try some more. It's okay.
Yeah. I just muted the pepperoni. That's the problem. Is I'm such a fan of. I was looking forward to a touch of the spiciness,
right?
But the blueberries and all that.
Yeah.
Now that alone, blueberries and that, it tasted amazing.
Yeah. So the little bit of fruit touches around the board, even like the raspberries, the blueberries, and the blackberries, like. It's almost like a break, right? So like when you're eating a lot of meat and cheese, and all of a sudden, like sometimes you just need that little like palate cleansing break. So like those things are available to you too. Same thing with like this, and like when you feel really bad because you just ate like 5 pieces of pepperoni, then you can grab a little piece of asparagus, dip it in the cottage cheese dill dip, and then you feel better about yourself.
You can tell that's definitely your favorite.
Yeah.
You keep going for it. I am mad at
Then,
you.
then all of a sudden, like you're like, oh, I ate healthy today because I had a piece of asparagus.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
totally ate healthy.
All right.
Yeah, I like that. I want to go for one of these though, because I would go to that jam time and again. I see you keep going for the cottage cheese thing.
So
I would go for that jam too much.
I'm in January. I'm in post December trying to feel better about myself mode. So like I'm trying to avoid like the jams and things like that right now.
That hummus
Fantastic,
is incredible, sir.
And again, the trick with that is like it's the peppers, right? Like
Oh yeah.
it's the process.
Is it any of this?
No. So it's the process of the roasted peppers. And again, are there like I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that's anything that's mystery. Like I could call up a food distributor and get hummus delivered to the shop.
Yeah.
It's not what we do, and it's time consuming, and some days you don't want to do it, but it's part of what we do. So like again, these things are all the only. I'll be honest, we do not make the mustard. We do not have the capability of making mustard.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic mustard that we found from a local distributor. But everything else on that board is touched by us.
It's just so much fun.
It's so much fun.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
The blackberry cheese with the little bit of regular hummus. So weird, but I love all of this.
If you
For me, this board would be purely curiosity. I would more think that I wouldn't go with anything that I was sure of, like ever.
So I'll tell you a couple other things that we do, which have been very popular. So we also wanted to make charcuterie more accessible on a daily basis, right? So again, this is our smallest of our presentation boards. So we have a small, a medium, and large. Great for larger parties or gatherings. But we also have smaller boards than that. So we make a board called the picnic box. It's in a little bit of a different container. It has a snap-on lid, real easy to transport. We made that board for boats, beaches, pools. If you're going on a road trip, if you're just hanging out outside somewhere, it's a real easy board that has all the same ingredients, all the same stuff, just in a little bit of a different presentation. Perfect for like 4 to 6 people. Great way to have kind of that outdoor activity with charcuterie. We also make a date night board. So it's a 2-person board.
You see her perk up. We do date nights.
All the same ingredients. Whether you like your significant other enough to do this is up to you, but to be able to sit down with a board in between you and have the same conversations about what are you trying, what's your perfect bite, let's try it together. Maybe it even leads to a little bit of more fun at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But you can
feeding each other.
Right. You can have that date night experience. The amount of people that stop and pick up Chick-fil-A for their kids and on their way home grab a date night board from us and then bring it home.
That's
you take care of the kids, and then you can go hide in a room or hide outside and just kind of have that little date night experience with your own personal little charcuterie board. So we make those, and then we also make a lunch. We call that our grab and graze. An individual portion of all the same ingredients, all the same stuff that's on the board. So if you're looking for something a little healthier, a little bit different to eat for lunch, it's a really cute little board that, again, allows you to kind of experiment. And I always tell people my favorite part of the grab and graze is you don't have to share.
Right.
So, there's things on the board that are most people kind of gravitate to. So like, you don't have to worry about somebody eating all of yours because it's yours.
That's right.
So, and all those things are available on our website. Again, everything is made fresh to order. So if you're looking for something like that, just place the order. Let us know what time you want it. That way we know it's ready to go right when you come. So it's not sitting around waiting for you. It's important to us. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
You have an actual address.
We do. It's 3373 South Morgan's Point Road.
There you go.
South Morgan's Point Road is that road that goes behind the Oakland Shopping Center. So like if you ever went to like the back way
second
into,
Walmart.
The second
not
Walmart.
The first Walmart.
No, not the first Walmart.
17, the second Walmart. The one up towards Wando High School.
That's right. So most people know if you're turning left to go to Costco, our shopping center is turning right. So at that same light, if you turn right into Charleston National, our shopping center is right there on the right-hand side. There's lots of real I'll take a minute to plug the shopping center.
Absolutely, please.
There's lots of really cool businesses in there that everybody can use. We have a stretch zone, we have crush yard, lots of places for your pets. We have one of the best vets in Mount Pleasant, the hairdresser that my wife goes to, so it must be good. Lots of really cool things in that shopping center. Some great gyms with some really great people that can help you get in shape. So if you don't know where that shopping center is, take a minute and drive through it because there's some really cool things in there. And we joke around. It's like a little quiet piece of Mount Pleasant that isn't the craziness of some of the parking lots that you're all thinking of right now. And you're like, boy, I do not like to go into certain parking lots because
I love that
it's
you're
crazy.
showing love to your neighbors, by the way, man.
It's important.
It's wonderful. It really is. I mean, Forge did it with Prime, talking about Prime. 17 was there,
Right.
and a couple of people, Annie, she had talked about, she had the yoga shop, and then we were talking about how Crab Shack's going to be something else, and showing love to your neighbors within a shopping center. That's a great move, honestly, because also drive through there, but now make sure you just stop at him before you leave it.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Graze Craze.
We spend a lot of time talking about, things that we can do for others to make the world a better place, right? And
Yes, sir.
Again, like when you own a small business, you have blinders on a lot, trying to get from point A to point B. But when you take those blinders off sometimes and see how many other people are struggling with the same things that you're struggling with, so again, it's something silly that we do, but every Wednesday we always make a point to talk about somebody else on our social media. So we obviously talk about ourselves plenty.
Sure,
It becomes a little crazy, right? When you constantly talk about yourself and talk about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But every Wednesday we made a deal with ourselves and said every Wednesday we're going to pick another business, whether it's a place we use or somebody that we know, and talk about them on our social media. And what it does is it opens up a whole new window to these people that, everybody always thinks like, oh, everybody knows about everything, but so few people know about everything.
Oh, yeah. And I can't tell you, I don't know that a lot of people, of course, that I know or that follow me would know you.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, but they're going to.
Right.
They're going to know some Graze Craze, and they're going to,
people talk
they're
about,
going to get this too. Well,
people talk about marketing, and like, if you take a 5-mile radius around your location, 60% of the people in that radius probably don't know you exist. And no matter how hard you try, it's a very hard number to break through because you obviously get your core people and then those people hopefully tell people, but it's a hard thing to just, even 2 years later, we have people walk in every single day and they're like, I wish I knew you existed a month ago. And it just happens to be because they were driving by or a friend told them about it. But it's, every small business that you see out there that have opened and closed and opened and closed, it's mainly just because it's so hard for people to actually know A, what you do, and B, that you exist.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so I think, you were talking about the lunchbox.
Yeah.
What do you got sitting over there?
Oh, so these are our charcuterie cups. So, so we make these a lot for events. They're perfect little single size servings. Another thing that we get a lot of feedback from, especially for larger events, is although our boards are great and they're wonderful to look at, it does have that little bit of everybody touching it aspect to it.
Got you.
So whether it's our little individual grab and grazes that we talked about before, or these little charcuterie cups, individually wrapped products for larger events, corporate events, weddings. That way everybody has their own little individually wrapped thing. They don't have to share. They don't have to worry about touching other people's food.
Gotcha.
Allergy problems, all those other things, we can easily do them with our little
when
cups.
it's not family.
When it's not family,
because
right?
we're family today and for the future, by the way. And so we get to, we were like, hey man, we're family now, let's do this. But yeah, you're right. A big event,
it's a little bit different, right?
Sure, I'm sure that'd be overwhelming to think about.
But yeah, our little individual sizes, corporate events, it works out great. That way everybody has their own little charcuterie lunch. And, it's a super memorable thing. I'll just take a minute to plug anybody that's in the sales world. I used to be in the sales world in construction. I did a lot of business development. It is extremely hard to walk into somebody's office and hand them something that will make them think of you 1 minute after you leave. It's a thankless job being a salesperson. So next time that you're going to drop something off, whether you're in medical sales or, there's a million different people doing a million different ways sales. Just think about giving us a call and we can talk through different options to make your next stop super memorable. I can tell you, I work with a lot of medical reps and they've been doing this for a long time. They have never gotten the feedback. They hardly ever get feedback at all from anybody. But when they drop off one of our boards, whether it's to a doctor's office or a vet office, they get calls the next day and they actually say thank you, which is crazy. Again, that doesn't happen more often.
Right.
But most times when you drop off sandwiches or fast food or donuts or cupcakes or cookies, these things aren't memorable experiences for the people that get them. They're delicious and they enjoy them, but they don't think about it after it's done.
Right.
But, dropping off something like this and having it on the table in the break room and everybody's kind of touching it and enjoying it, it makes you a 4 to 5 hour long memorable experience with your business card next to it.
And plus, everybody's going, where did you get this from?
That's right.
Name again. Where did you get this from? Where did this come from? Name again. You know?
I mean, obviously, we like it for our own
and I mean,
reasons too,
but their name.
Yeah, it's
like not just your name, but their name. It's like, it's a Graze Craze thing that the rep brought us. And it's like, no way.
Right. And now all of a sudden, like the office is talking about it as opposed to just adding to the stack of donuts that they have in the back because 5 salespeople stopped by that day.
Yep.
And we do sales packages in all different price points. We know people have really strict criteria of what they need to do. So if you're in the sales world and you haven't given us a call yet, we can customize, we can wrap it in your wrapping and stickers. We do some really cool things. So stop by, we'll give you a little sample to try. We would love to talk to you about anything like that too.
Well, you brought that for my set.
Yeah.
And I will find a place. It'll be here for now.
And then every time
you're actually blocking my flux capacitor.
Nice.
I can't believe it.
And every time you look at it, you can be like, man, I want some of that cheese.
Oh, believe you me, the date night thing is happening, my friend.
It's so much fun, and it's such a cool way to kind of enjoy a night together. Put on a movie, have that out just to kind of snack on. It's wonderful.
So this was Keith Lovas, Graze Craze. I got it all right.
That's right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And please, for everything that he said, I mean, 100%, the product backs up what he's saying. I'm sitting here listening to what he's saying, and everything makes sense because if you see this, if you try this, if you do this, there's no way that it doesn't work out the way that you're talking about. I mean, it honestly is one of the most unique things that has come to my show. It is the most unique snack I may ever have. A lot of people say Doritos and Coca-Cola, but I'm telling you, if I could, I would get one of these for every guest from here on out because this is just so incredible and so neat. And I really think everybody should experience it. So please reach out to them, call them, go visit them in Mount Pleasant. It's such an experience. And the fact that he's letting me take this home and my family now continues to experience it, I'm so looking forward to this great end to a weekend before I go back to work tomorrow.
And you got to make me a promise. So when you're all done destroying it tonight, our favorite pictures that we like to see are the afters.
Done.
We love seeing the after pictures because it makes us feel like people enjoyed it. And we just love to see how it's just destroyed at the end of the night. Because as much as wonderful it is when you put it out, we want it to be empty. The other thing that we make sure on our boards is there's nothing on there that's not edible. We don't have flowers. We don't have everything on there is meant to be eaten. So hopefully it all gets eaten.
Sir,
you got to make a promise to me. You got to make sure
you
make sure you eat everything on there.
I will. And when this episode comes out, I will show the picture that you requested.
Yep.
I will make sure it comes out in the days that follow the after. Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for hanging and snacking and yakking with me. And thank you so much in advance for supporting Graze Craze because I'm sure you will. There's just no reason not to. And
don't forget Valentine's Day.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This episode, I think, is February 2nd. Yes.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
February 2nd. You've got 12 days till Valentine's Day. And he said you can even take the credit. You don't have to give him the credit. You just move this thing right here.
That's right.
Well, Graze Craze, I don't know what you're talking about. Baby, I laid this whole thing out for you.
You can curate all the products. Man, you did a lot of effort. You should take credit.
Effort. Yep. And then you donated all the leftovers to the local shelters or something. You can make up the whole entire story.
Right. Yeah.
No, but honestly, why do it yourself? This is freaking amazing. And I'm gonna get on out of here. So is he. But this ain't getting out of here anytime soon. We are gonna tear this thing apart. And we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging.
Hey man, thanks.
And this is about the last time I think New York and Baltimore's ever gotten along so well.
although they're not, the baseball teams are both kind of struggling a little bit right now, but it's okay.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching another episode of Snackin Yakkin. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, and follow. Also, hit up the social media. And don't forget about the Patreon, just $5 a month. And we'll see you back here next week to do some more Snackin and Yakkin.